Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. It is super quiet out here except for that lawnmower in the background. But yeah, everything across the way, which is super industrialized, is super sleeping right now because yeah, it's that kind of day. It's a sleepy day. So I'm out here with a friend on his dock as the sun goes down. Just want to chill a little bit. I was here the other day, had a bit of fun. Thought I'd come back because it's been that kind of week where you need to go hang out with friends and family. Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to get ready and I'm just getting sidetracked by him changing the dynamic out here. Look, there was like no current, and as soon as he gets up here, it's all that way in the opposite direction of him, and then his wake is starting to come up and it's just going to make it all swirl. So I just tied up a dropper loop rig using a small hook. This is a 2/0 Kale fillet style piece of bait here. 20-pound test, 2 ounces of lead. My experience with this spot has been, it would behoove me to keep my hook size low and my bait size low because the fish size is low. But I would think that as we progress into fall, as it cools off, there's going to be bigger catches coming out of this stretch. But at the moment, this is a shallow stretch, this run right here. It's not a hole, and therefore it's got a higher water temperature at the moment, and it's not conducive for big cats to be hanging out here in high numbers. Smaller cats though are here. There are other places on this canal, the ICW, the shipping canal, that have holes that have deeper bits that way and this way. We're just nowhere near them. I keep getting that bite. I'm trying to describe the first scene of God Forgives, I Don't. That's a Terrence Hill, Bud Spencer spaghetti western. This train is coming into town, right? And all these people are on the platform to greet it, because this is supposed to be back in the day when trains were fairly new. So it was a big deal when a train would show up. And this train is coming, and when it comes around that bend, people are like, oh, there it is, there's the train. But they don't see anybody waving back at them as it approaches. And the train just is coming fast, and they're like, what's going on? And it just goes right on by the station. And this track terminates right after the station. So the train just barrels right into its termination. It just wrecks, right? Someone goes to open a car door, and a dead body rolls out with ketchup on the forehead, because this is shot back in the day when fake blood was just red paint or a bottle of Heinz. And then they look in, the camera goes in, and you see that everybody's laid to waste. Nobody's alive except for one person. And that's the opening scene to God Forgives, I Don't. I started rewatching that while I was eating breakfast, just so I wouldn't be doom scrolling today. It's kind of one of the things I do when I'm at the house doing stuff and I don't want to doom scroll. I can't come out and do stuff because I'm busy. I'll just throw on either some music, or I'll watch a spaghetti western as I'm eating. Surprisingly, my friend Steve, who is a lot younger than me, he was listening to me talk about that movie, and then he's like, was that a train heist movie? You actually have seen it then. You know what I'm talking about. You saw some of it. Sometimes you think you're living in a world where people don't watch spaghetti westerns anymore, and then you realize your friend who's much younger than you has at least seen some clips. I'm reassured. I can go forward. My faith in humanity has been recharged. People still watch Gunsmoke. Right? Well, at least you've seen some Bud Spencer, Terrence Hill clips. Those are legendary movies. So you saw clips from God Forgives, I Don't, from a spaghetti western documentary, you said, right?
Yeah.
There were some American actors in that movie. I can't remember their names. Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill are actually Italian actors. And back in the day, with spaghetti westerns and Italian movies in general, the voices were all dubbed, but a lot of times the actors did their own voiceover, their own dubbing. So in a lot of those movies, the voice that you hear from Terrence Hill or Bud Spencer is actually their own voice. They spoke pretty good English. They were well trained, right? Even though they were like fully Italian. But back in the day, there were a lot of American actors from the early 60s who were in cowboy movies, but by the late 60s, they weren't getting work. Their careers were saved by these Italian directors who wanted to make Western movies. It just was a little cheaper and easier to do it in Italy and other places, right? And it turned out to be classics. Like, a lot of careers were saved by these spaghetti westerns. Like, if you want to watch an interesting movie, it's all fictitious, right? But what is it? I think it's called a Hollywood Tale. It's a Quentin Tarantino film.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. One of the characters, like, you have Brad Pitt plays a stunt double, and then Leonardo DiCaprio, his character was a failed cowboy actor, but his career got reinvented by doing spaghetti westerns. Oh, here we go, finally. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is totally fictitious. It has to deal with, I'm not going to give too many spoiler alerts. I'm not going to give any, but it deals with the Sharon Tate,
That's what I was about to say, yeah.
the Manson family. Well, there's a lot of little fish right here off the dock because I keep having to refresh the worm. And we're getting a lot of traffic. I like this position I'm sitting in because I can see my catfish line and the oncoming traffic, well, if it's coming from that direction. And I'm gonna watch the sunset. And I guess that's all this session is about, hanging out with my friends, talking about movies rather than the dark times we're living in. But things are looking better. It's just horrible that for things to get better, we had to have such a dark midweek. Such, you know, oh, fishy, fishy, fishy. Come on up out of there, fishy, fishy. My production team just handed me this bag here. I was about to just let that fish go. They're like, no, no, no. Let's keep that for the next video. I don't feel those machine gun head shakes. Not quite yet. Oh, there we go. There we go. Bap, 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 bap. Tommy gun head shakes. It's probably a gaff top. Oh, we got the toots. You hear the toots?
No.
That's not what I was talking about. It's sunset for sure. The bugles are going off on the base, which is close to here. Oh man, that's a beautiful sunset too. Little guy for sure. I have no idea if you guys can really hear the bugle, but I'm holding this fish a little longer than usual, so I can hear it and you can hear it too. But we've got a barge coming, well, a towboat coming, and this is probably masking the last bit of the toots, even though everything's quiet over there because it's a Sunday afternoon. Work is still being done.
You used to hear the coyotes all go crazy right after that bugle.
You still hear it, but the coyotes are a little... Whoa!
It's died down.
Oh, there was no fear of that fish running off with the rod. Yeah, the coyotes still react to the bugles, but on the far side of the base, there's far more human activity over here on this side these days. So coyotes haven't been coming into town as often as they used to. There you go. Yeah, I think I got a fish here. Second cat coming up. I'm in the middle of setting our light up for the dark. This fish doesn't care. This feels, this is a little different of a fight, but it might just be a bigger gaff top. It's running pretty good. Yeah. Look at him running like crazy. Is this a gaff top?
Between this and the perch and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just a bigger gaff top.
That's a big one.
Oh, we're getting messed up with spaghetti here.
Fishing because you're fishing for something to eat. You're not that picky about being a half-inch tooth short, this or that or that or this, you know.
Well, this is a good size to keep, and despite the gooiness of their membrane, it is a decent cat to eat. That meat's going to be white. Steve's going to keep it. Just like last night, as soon as it got dark tonight, the bites just slowed way down to nothing. It was just like that last night on the river. Anyway, I'm ready to go. We just hung out, having good conversation. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, being members of the channel. And yeah, you're right. I'll see y'all next time.